The 10th edition of the AUSC Region 5 Games will be underway in December 2022, hosted in Lilongwe, the capital city of Malawi. Teams from all over the SADC region will gather to compete in these highly anticipated games. The build-up to these games requires Malawi to ensure that the games venues are ready, and the local organizing committee have recently opened their doors to each country's chef de missions, as well as the confederations to showcase their readiness.
Basically, today we have invited the confederations and also the CDMs to come and appreciate the level of preparedness in terms of the facilities that they're going to be used as the games villages and also the sporting facilities. So that's what is happening today, and we're continuing with the tours.
This is a mission where we are having the first time our chefs de mission from the member countries. We've come to predominantly look at three areas. Number one is for them to appreciate the facilities that are going to be used for the games. Number two is also to appreciate the technical rules that will be used for the games. And number three, will also be running a mini workshop for them in terms of the entourage management and the ethics of these games. So those are the three fundamental objectives that we are doing here. Having been here, we have had interface with the LOC. For us, it's the third time we've been here to assess progress, particularly on infrastructure that's going to be used for competition, for the games village, for our technical officials, for training, and ensuring that all the specifications that are needed have been addressed, but also to look into the progress made in terms of acquisition of the technical equipment that is required for the games. We have also been looking at how we're doing in terms of timelines, because there's a lot of training that will need to happen now for our technical officials, referees, judges, umpires that will be used in the games. So we're just assessing how far we are as far as meeting those timelines is concerned.
Delegates were taken on a grand tour to all competition venues to ensure they understood the bigger picture and the plans for the games.
I should say that the progress has been quite good. I know we started a bit late, I think late last year, but pace picked up because of we've had quite a good support from ROC, and they're also guiding us throughout the way. And it also took time for Malawians and also those in LOC to understand the gravity of these games. So now pace has picked up, I should say, but it's been quite good, and I think we are quite on schedule on that one.
Netball is going to commence on the 4th to the 9th of December. We're hoping to have about 6 countries participating and more, because we actually have 10 affiliates affiliated to the federation. So we're hoping to have at least 10 countries, but we obviously know that Angola and Mozambique have not been active in netball that much, so they might not be partaking, but we should have a maximum of 8 countries participating in this year's tournament. In terms of the plans and the preparations, countries have already started with the selections and finalizing their teams. They need to submit this to the region, so I think all the countries are already actively busy finalizing their teams for the competition. We're hoping to have, as I said, more than 6. So we're ready to kick off as countries are preparing as well.
We are excited a little bit because for the first time at this stage we can tell people that we have a venue to play. Though it is still under construction, we see a magnificent facility that can put 3 courts for volleyball. In the initial game, or the other games, Botswana 2018 and Maseru last year, at this stage we were still wondering if we were going to be part of the program. In Botswana you can say there are facilities, but we were given the venue at around 6 o'clock when we were playing the following day. In Maseru we were planning to play outside, and it was raining. We ended up putting our program inside the hall and disturbing the basketball program. And today we are independent. We are going to be on our own at the Griffin Sayenda, hall number 2. So I feel it is great, and it sounds great because some teams are even preparing right now. A Malawi team is on camp, and I hear from other countries they are ready for the competition in December.
So Malawi is very fortunate to be building this international stadium that would also in future host international ranking competitions outside this event. So we're quite happy as a region to host such a facility within the SADC region, or Region 5. So it's a beautiful stadium. As I said, it's not just going to be for Region 5, but it's going to be also for the girl child that is there. Because if you look around the whole country, you will see that the facilities are not on standard. Some are still playing on ground facilities. So it's beautiful, and in the heart of a netball playing country, to have a stadium this beautiful within the country. Also, you will know that Malawi is actually one of the best countries playing netball, so it's just good that the government invested in the girl child by supporting a project of this nature.
The goal is to leave a legacy in Malawi, so it will not only be a win for sport after the games are complete.
Sport is not just about filling stadiums. Sport is not just about us having medals and counting. Sport is about changing lives and livelihoods, because we believe that the courts at Silver Stadium, that's where the next NBA champion must come from, and that's where the hope of our young people comes from. That's where the unity of this country comes from. So there are other social economic benefits that are there. As Region 5, for all the programs that we are running, we are addressing 4 key social outcomes. Number 1, we are addressing economic outcomes. There must be jobs that are created out of that. So when we do that legacy, there's jobs that are going to be created to maintain those facilities, construct them, and also to manage the facility. So we are creating jobs out of that. Number 2 is education benefits. When we bring young people there, they are going to be taught a number of other things, not only formal education, but how to take care of themselves, behavior change, environment management, and so on. And we're changing lives through that. Number 3 is health benefits, because we are going to have young people who are not going to be sedentary. They will not live sedentary lifestyles, so they become healthy and active. And we create an active nation that it becomes economic. But of course, we also bring in tourism, because that facility must be able to host regional tournaments. So we create both domestic and international tourism. Those are the 4 social outcomes we're looking at. So we don't look at these games as a 10-day fiesta of euphoria in the stadiums and hullabaloo. We are looking at it changing lives and changing livelihoods. Life in Malawi must never be the same because of this event. So that's why for us, Silver Stadium becomes passionate, very close to our heart, because we believe that years after, the people of Malawi will remember the Region 5 games by the number of icons that are going to come out of those courts.
Well, so far so good. As you know, with basketball, our competition is actually a FIBA competition, which is a qualification of Africa. It's under 16 competition, which means we're expecting in total about 8 teams participating in the competition, with the top 2 men and top 2 women qualifying for Afrobasket next year. Currently, the teams are aware and they've started preparations. I'm quite impressed. So far, there's about a total of 6 countries that I know are doing very well in preparation for December. We're expecting 6 so far, men, 6 women, in total about 12. So that's quite a huge number, but we are able to accommodate it, looking at the facilities we've gone around to inspect. And basketball is one of the projects that is going to leave legacy, because as you are aware, we want to make sure that we improve the infrastructure such that after 10 days, when we leave Malawi, the kids that were training at that venue come to appreciate the changes that have been brought by the games.
The second day of the visit to Malawi saw the Minister of Youth and Sport address the delegates, and presentations were held to see how ready the confederations will be ahead of the games.
Good morning, colleagues. Muribanji. On dia. Dumela ntate, dumela me. I wish I could speak all the languages so that we enjoy ourselves. As Malawi, we are determined to deliver the best and most memorable games ever in the history of the Region 5. As you are by now aware, the 10th edition of the Region 5 Youth Games will be held in Lilongwe from the 2nd to 11th of December 2022. The Games complete a full cycle now after being held in each of our 10 member countries. The vision of our forefathers, as stated in the SADC Protocol on Culture, Information and Sports, was to stimulate sports and sport-related development, build solidarity and unity of purpose among our young people, and promote excellency through high performance using the youth games.
I should say you're going to see very great improvement. Like when we visited the other complex, you see that roofing will start, I think, in a couple of weeks' time, and you're going to see very great improvement. Plus, we will be launching the games end of this month, and that's going to kick the pace. And trust me, you're going to see great improvement in terms of infrastructure being worked on and all the maintenance work as well.
I must agree with the CEO. There's a lot of work to be done at the Griffin Isaenda and even at the aquatic complex. And I just want to assure you, our colleagues, that government, through my ministry, we're doing everything possible, working around the clock to make sure that these complexes are done and in time. We are mindful of the time that we have to launch these games, and we'll do everything possible to make sure that this is done.
We believe, and we strongly believe, that these games have produced a number of results. You name it, from Wade van Niekerk in Swaziland, Eswatini 2010, to your Castor Semenias, to your, a whole lot of your Kama Billiards in them. They have come through this menu, and because of that, we want support, and we need also our people to invest in ensuring that sport ceases to be just a pastime. It's not a recreational phenomenon. Sport is real business. Let's make this indeed a leading home of innovation and excellence.
Finally, let me wish you all a safe and healthy stay in Malawi, as well as a fruitful deliberations during our meeting. And let me assure you that government will do everything possible to make sure that these games are successful. Allow me therefore to now declare the first joint meeting for the 10th edition of the Region 5 Youth Games in Lilongwe 2022 officially opened.
I just want to encourage the youth, because these are youth games, to participate in the games, and also their parents to let the youth participate, because we want to start developing them when they are young, so that they grow into, like, Usain Bolt and other, so that's pretty much it.
The AUSC Region 5 Games are at the state of readiness for the upcoming games in December.